I don't. And, you know, so far I hope that I don't vote based upon a poll or a voting record, a group that's saying, if you don't vote our way, we're going to give you a ding on your voting record. I really, truly try to represent you. I can't but not begin to tell you the weight that is lifted off your shoulder as an elected official when you finally realize that you cannot satisfy 100% of the voters. That when you finally came to the conclusion that there's a certain number of people out there that they're just not going to vote for you if you breathe, if you're talking and walking because you have either a label or a philosophy they disagree with. Just to put that in perspective, in the last election, this is really kind of fun. And my colleagues in Washington wonder how I did that. In the debate with my Democrat opponent, the first debate in Helena, Montana, he reached over and he said, I'm voting for him. And I still lost 35% of the vote. And my opponent voted for me. So I don't know what it takes to get the other 35%, but I quit trying to chase them and try and do the right thing from my philosophy that I ran under and you elected me on in 2000. And if you're not happy, the best part of the Constitution, which can't be argued with, is you get a chance to throw me out every 2 years. And I'm willing to withstand the scrutiny, the voting record, sometimes the misunderstanding, the misconception, but I hope you never question both my motives, my morals, or my desire to best represent you to the best of my ability. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for coming, Representative Rehberg, and thank you for doing what you believe is right in the Congress. I grew up in a small town. I didn't grow up in Hamilton. I grew up in Battleground, Washington, which is now 16,000 people. And it was 1,600 people when I lived there. I moved here 25 years ago or so.
Newcomer.
Yeah. I've done what I've had to do to make sure I pay my bills and pay my taxes. I've planted trees, I've fought fires, I've picked fruit and vegetables, all the stuff that, you know, all the taxpayers do. I've been insured, sometimes I've been uninsured, and I've been grateful when I tried to be careful when I was uninsured and I didn't get hurt. I know that as an insured person that I'm supporting the uninsured, that I'm paying for that. And those who the health insurance industry decides to serve, that I'm paying for that, and I'm happy to do that. Those people need health care. I think I've had the great good fortune in my younger years to travel around a little bit. I felt that the United States touches so many nations around the world, and we get a lot of products and advantage from other countries around the world. So I should go see what's going on there. And so I did get to, I have saved my money and traveled around. I live in a little house, but I've traveled around. And I recognize that some of the things that we have in the United States that we should really cherish are the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. Those are a basis for our laws, and so I appreciate that. I've met people in Mexico and Thailand. Oh, this was a listening session, so I was just going to share some of my observations. Okay. People in Mexico, and when I was in Mexico and Thailand, there were Americans there getting health care that they couldn't afford in the United States. We hear about a lot of people from other countries coming to the United States, but there were Americans there getting health care. I'm now a teacher. I teach little kids. And one of the things that we try to do is make sure that the little kids have what they need to learn. And when a child isn't progressing, that we try, I understood it was a listening session, and so I'm sharing my observations.
Ask him a question.
And I promise, I know I'm supposed to be leaving right this minute, but there's, I think, 4 behind you, and I will stay.
I'll try to be quick.
Okay. These guys are going to yell at me. But
as a teacher,
I'll stay.
I have little kids that sometimes they don't progress.
Yeah.
As teachers, we try to brainstorm on our own. We meet with the team. We meet with the parents. Sometimes that still doesn't work. And so sometimes the parents it's suggested take your child to the doctor. Maybe they have allergies or something else. In the last 2 years, and I can't say the condition because of confidentiality, I've had students that the families weren't able to get their kids to the doctors, and because in one case the employment condition changed, and so they had to file the paperwork for TIP and so on, and it took so long to do that it was a year before they finally had their child.
And you're pointing out many of the problems within the system, and again, I want to address the issue of Medicaid. Those, America has great ability of trying to take care of people that can't take care of themselves. And if you ask